I think he burns his passport. He gets rid of that. He's got no ID, no social security number, none of that. He's burnt it. He's got rid of all of it. One night he gets desperate. He needs somewhere to stay. They won't accept him. They won't let him in because he's got no way of proving who he is. Now, as I said before, in the UK, I know that there's many places that you don't need those ID situations. I think cash is just fine, but there's a lot of instances where you do need it. And it's crazy. But as I understand in the States, it's like, yeah, that if you don't have it, that's it. You're just turned away from everywhere. And these things cost money as well. I imagine at the DMV, that's probably like at least $100 or something, like to just get it
Oh no,
processed.
they're inexpensive. That's the hardest part. They're like $12 to $20.
Oh,
It's not,
okay. Oh, so it's
yeah,
more
it's
just an
it's less
arduous
than a cheese.
process.
It's just the process. That's the
Right.
hardest part, is
Okay.
it's something that's so inexpensive but so essential. Like, I pay more for that for almost everything I get for anyone. An ID is like so cheap,
So
inexpensive.
was there just
Uh,
like a lot of hoops to go through? Like what kind of stuff do you need to provide for the idea? I think you mentioned before, like you need address or
you
something
need the
like that.
address. And here's the other kicker there, depending on the state, if you don't have any current identification or any way to prove who you are, you can't get that ID because they don't know if you are who you say you are.
You can't hold on. You need an ID to get an ID.
Some form. So if you have like a social security card or a birth certificate, and then you go to get a replacement ID, oh, okay, you are who you are because you have a second form, a different type. If you've lost everything, it can be really hard.
Could you
And
get like a
and
birth certificate? Would that prove it, I suppose? Yeah,
you
if you
can
could
get a
trace it
social
back.
security or birth certificate. You can get things like that if you know all the right information.
Uh,
So like it depends on really, and it depends on who you're dealing with. And I have been in instances where someone at the DMV was a little bit more compassionate, like I said, and willing to kind of work and bend a rule a bit and say like, okay, tell me more about everything. Where was this address? What was your maiden name? Blah blah blah. Going through a whole set of questions, and finally got to a point of like, okay, I know you are who you say you are. We're okay. But as with anything, it's that requires somebody to be compassionate and willing. You get the wrong person on the wrong day, and that might not happen. So it just depends, and it's frustrating. It's hard. So you might have to go one place before you go to another. And what I found here with getting jobs is most of them, almost all, require two forms of ID. So if you get just one, you still can't go get a job. You have to have a second form. So what I do now is if I'm going to help somebody get back on their feet and off the street and go through that process, the first step is making sure they have two forms of identification so that we can, and I'm not saying like I wait and I don't do anything until they figure that out. No, no, that's the first step is how do we go and get that? How do we make an appointment for you to get your identification? How do we make an appointment for you to get your social security? And then maybe you can work with an organization or whatever and order your birth certificate, get at least two forms, and then we can line up a job, and then we can get you a place, and so on. It's a lengthy process. So there's a lot of steps involved, but um, I hate to say it, but that's like the first thing that sucks is like until you have those, there's not much we can do, and it is out of my hands. That's why I hate to say it. It's out of my hands, and it's frustrating because there's nothing I can do. There's no amount of money, no person, nothing that can change that, at least as of now.
so this clears up a lot of, at least my understanding of why there's such a huge homeless problem in the States.